Firefighter personal protective equipment has changed a lot throughout the years. It has continued to advance and improve for us to do our jobs better. We've gone from the old rubber coats of the 1930s to the modern day fire protective equipment that we use today. A game changer was in the 1970s when self-contained breathing apparatus was introduced to the firefighters' protective equipment. These changes were made and the SCBA was introduced because we knew, plain and simple, smoke was bad for us. And yet, as firefighters, we do not recognize that the hazards that exist in the overhaul environment are dangerous to our health. That's because the atmosphere is tolerable to us and does not have an immediate adverse effect to the health of the firefighter. There's an old saying that what you can't see can't hurt you. But scientific studies have shown the post-fire environment may be more dangerous than firefighters realize. So what's in the smoke and atmosphere in the post-fire overhaul environment? Dr. Jeff Burgess and a team from the University of Arizona performed studies in 1998 and 1999 with fire departments in the Phoenix and Tucson areas. They were able to identify all of these chemical contaminants in the overhaul environment. But you want to hear something interesting? There are even more contaminants in the overhaul environment than these listed here. And published health effects are not available for many of these chemical contaminants. And yet, we as firefighters view overhaul as a low hazard priority. So why are firefighters so reluctant to use SCBA during overhaul? Let's find out.
Look, Chief, we don't have a mobile cascade unit, and using an SCBA during overhaul means more air usage.
Here's an idea. Have adequate SCBA bottles on the scene and use all available cylinders and/or set up a relay system to get the bottles transported back to the fire station, refilled, and returned to the scene. We plan for every other aspect of firefighting. Why not plan for overhaul? Let's see what another firefighter has to say.
We wear PPE whenever we fight the fire. I think the additional physical stress of wearing it during overhaul would wear out most firefighters.
How about this? Discontinue the practice of first in, last out. Call for additional assistance and fresh personnel to conduct the labor-intensive activities of overhaul. Why do we insist on the crews that probably did the hardest work, the first couple of arriving units, to stay and work to the end of the event?
Chief, how will the fire marshals conduct an investigation?
Let me share my experience with this. We instituted a change of practice for our fire marshals in Prince William County, Virginia, when I worked there. The initial investigation done by the fire marshal is conducted with the fire marshal wearing an SCBA. And just like the firefighters, they maintain SCBA usage until all overhaul is completed. We then allow the building to breathe for 20 minutes, and the fire marshals can then discontinue the use of their SCBA.
Chief, we got this handled. We check out the atmosphere with the CO meter.
Okay. First, there's no correlation between the CO levels monitored in the overhaul environment and the level of other toxic products. CO levels should not be used to determine if it is safe to discontinue the use of SCBA. Second, multi-gas detectors. They cannot provide a comprehensive assessment, and they give you insufficient information for PPE donning and doffing decisions. So continue to wear your SCBA during all of overhaul. If we ignore the scientific evidence of the overhaul environment, we might just as well go back to wearing the rubber coats of the 1930s. It has been shown repeatedly that firefighters have a greater risk of developing cancer than the general population. Some of the chemicals identified in the overhaul environment exceed the occupational exposure limits and are known carcinogens. They cause cancer. Let's face it, 1 + 1 = 2. You breathe in known cancer-causing products, your chances of developing cancer are going to escalate. Maybe I'm so passionate about this because I know so many young, vibrant firefighters that have been adversely affected by cancer. I can give you the names of firefighters that have worked with me or been friends of mine that have developed cancer. Zigomandas Zialis died at the age of 33 due to pancreatic cancer, leaving behind a wife and a child of less than 1 year old. Carl Persing, at the age of 53, died of colorectal cancer. Bruce Newcomer also had colorectal cancer, which took him away from us at 56 years old. Johnny Thomas died at 31 years old due to lung cancer. Tim Lake passed away 48 years young of brain cancer. Then there are the lucky few that have been diagnosed with cancer and have beat it back and are now cancer-free, like Brian Cook and Jimmy Trinega, that both have suffered from testicular cancer, one in his late 20s and the other in his mid-30s. And there are many more that have died and more that are cancer survivors. As a chief officer, unit officer, or firefighter, you need to consider and ask yourself, have I done everything within my power and control to assure my fellow firefighters' safety and well-being? This is my challenge to you. I want all of you to live a long, healthy life. Enjoy growing old with those you love. We can start working towards that goal by using your full PPE, including your SCBA during overhaul. Leadership starts with each of you so that everyone goes home.